All right, so we're hearing a lot of talk about Alexander Usyk, Joseph Parker, Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua's name is coming in there as well. We've seen Joseph Parker with his unique, they're brilliant, they're absolutely brilliant call out I should say, for Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk is talking about, he wants to go through with the Dubois fight, but we haven't heard from Daniel Dubois, and quite frankly, with the exception of some interviews he did with the Zone Fight Week for the last Crescendo, and obviously he never fought that night, he's pretty much gone off the radar. And that is a bit weird because with Dubois, obviously Daniel Dubois, he's certainly not a Tyson Fury in a sense of, Fury would probably make people aware he'd be. Well, example would be when he pulled out of the Usyk fight, when he pushed the Usyk fight back really about February time last year in May with the eye injury. He was showing pictures. He was saying, "Oh, I'm going to knock this, middleweight out, this, that, and the other." And that's very different. He was pushing the fight back. Dubois is not going to fight Joseph Parker, but you get what I mean. He was pretty quick to, mention the fact that, it's happening in May, this, that, and the other, etc., etc., etc. He was doing press conferences and stuff like that. So yeah, fair enough. We got all that. Dubois, it was an illness. Not quite sure the ins and outs of the illness. I think it was something to do with a sore throat or something like that. Where's the effect of that anyway? He was advised that if he took the fight, he'd be feeling it. He wasn't necessarily told not to take the fight by the doctor, but he wasn't pulled out by the doctor. He was advised that if he did take the fight, he would be struggling after a couple of rounds. So therefore, they chose to postpone it. Okay, fair enough. But where is Dubois? And what's going on? There have been some people who've said that he's gone back. I say gone back because I don't know why he'd be there, but apparently he's gone back, according to some people, I have to get that out, nothing confirmed, to Brazil. Now, you may remember when he was doing the face-off with Anthony Joshua, I believe Ade said you were only off the plane or something like that, and Dubois apparently was in Brazil. Now, again, God knows why he'd want to go that far. I mean, I'd quite like to go Brazil for a holiday, but I don't know if I'd go any longer than 10 days. Seems like he's been there a while. So I don't get the ins and outs with that. And if you've been there once, if in fact that is the case. But it does lead you to ask questions like, well, what is going on? What is the deal with Daniel Dubois? Because it seems inevitable that he's going to face Alexander Usyk next. But man's been like missing. He's gone. He disappeared. I don't understand it. And what that inevitably makes people do, it leads people to suspect that, there is something, I don't want to say untoward, sorry, that's the wrong word, but, it leads people to, the question, we'll say, the narrative going into the Parker fight that, he was pulled out due to sickness, due to a disease, a virus, etc., etc. Some people have speculated that he failed a test. I seriously doubt that. I seriously doubt that, because if he did, there wouldn't be any issues with Alexander Usyk going ahead with a Dubois fight. You wouldn't hear people talking about it. You wouldn't hear whispers, the Saudis talking about it, etc. It'd be a fairly slam dunk. I'm going to fight Joseph Parker next. The Parker Usyk fight would be made like that. It'd be a fairly slam dunk if that was the case. So I'm not buying that for a second. But it does make you wonder, what is going on with Daniel Dubois? Is there something else, I don't know what it could be, because if it's not sickness, I mean, what else is it? A lack of confidence in beating Joseph Parker, wanting to assure that you had the Alexander Usyk fight? I doubt that very much, because Daniel Dubois essentially had, and if you think about it like this, he really did. He essentially had his career on the line when he fought Jarrell Miller, because he came off the back of a loss to Alexander Usyk, albeit losing to Alexander Usyk, no one's beaten him. There's no shame in that. But the manner of the loss, not really being in the fight, he didn't take a tremendous amount of punishment in there, not really. Not in comparison to Fury in the first fight, probably took more punishment than Dubois did, certainly in round number 9, because Dubois was down, but he never was hurt as bad as Tyson Fury was in that 9th round, nowhere near. And he just seemed to fall apart mentally. And at that point, you're looking at a guy in his mid-20s at the time, and you're thinking, well, Jesus, what do you do with him? And Warren put him in there with Miller. Best believe if he had lost that fight, I mean, I don't even know what Frank Warren would have done with him. Would he have kept him? Would he have even tried to rebuild him again? Would he have just looked to cash him out in a big fight against whoever? I really don't know. So there was a lot riding on the line in that fight. So he went through and he passed it with flying colours. With Filip Hrgovic, he had to overcome a man who did handle him in sparring. Daniel Dubois even said that himself, even alluded to it. Dubois, he handled him in sparring. So he didn't capitulate in those fights. Against Anthony Joshua, he didn't have the weight of the world on his shoulder. That was more AJ, to be honest with you. But he knew he wasn't the house fighter. Even though he was the champion, he certainly wasn't treated like that. But again, unflappable. Surely he wouldn't look at Joseph Parker as, a bigger test than all them. And I know he wants the Usyk fight, he wants undisputed. But I certainly felt as though he was confident going into the Joseph Parker fight. I really did. I didn't see any signs that he wasn't, to be honest with you. So it is a strange one that since, I know it's been about a month now, since February 22nd, we've not heard really a peep from Dubois. I think he did release a statement, but as himself, we've literally heard zilch, radio silence. So it does make you ask the question, what is going on there? Is there a problem in Team Dubois? What exactly is going on there? It does make you wonder that. What do you think? I'm just going to say, what do you think it is? What do you think it is? I still think it's very, very likely we will see. Bear in mind, it's only March. It's only mid-March. So I still think it's very highly, extremely likely that we'll see Dubois versus Usyk 2 at some point this summer. Highly likely, just a matter of kind of when, I think, and what stipulations will be on the line with regards to the WBO title. But I still think we'll likely see that fight next. Let me know in the comments section what you guys all think. Daniel Dubois pretty much been missing as of late, hasn't he? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. And until next time, peace.